second opinion, unless you want to pay for that on your own. Right? So that's the thing. It comes down to self-worth and self-value. And he goes on to say to the servants, the servant goes out and invites all the people. And none of the people would join. None of the people would come. None of the people would be a part of it. See, we're always waiting for somebody else to do it. That's the problem. Somebody else. You go be the senator. You go do the thing. You go change it. And all of a sudden we're slapped into slavery because we expected somebody else to do it. Somebody else to do it. Never taking it apart. That's the thing. We could take a piece of paper and we could put 500,000 names on that piece of paper, and we could all together say, all right, everybody whose name's on this piece of paper is in agreement with us, and we give it to our congressman, and our congressman takes our petition with our 500,000 names, and he says, wonderful, this is a beautiful idea. We're going to set this right here in our special filing cabinet called the round filing cabinet. And they're just like, wow, the round filing cabinet. That must be like the round table where everybody gathers around this round filing cabinet and they discuss our concerns. Right? And he walks right over to the trash can and the lid pops open and whoosh, right in the trash can. Isn't that what you did, Bernie Sanders? Isn't that what they've been doing for hundreds of years? That's the thing. We don't have health care because you're the fucking president. Excuse me. You're the president. You're the congressman. That's why we have insurance. A false hope that can be shaken and taken away from you at any moment. Right? And then if you're fortunate enough to qualify for Medicaid or Medicare, you can get a Band-Aid and a new pill. Right? America is the #1 prescribed pill poppers on earth. You're a bunch of drug addicts. That's why you don't want to get engaged in the battle. You might just lose your supply of fancy drugs. Because that's what a doctor is today. He's called a drug dealer. Right? Go to any clinic, care clinic, what do you call them? Urgent care clinic. What is that guy? He's a bona fide drug dealer. Drug dealer. Right? And so that's the thing. It's ridiculous that they laugh in your face and say, wow, aren't you so happy we just enslaved you under our will into a system of total corruption? And we say, yeah, we agree. What do? Yeah, see, that's the thing. Jesus says the power and the mightiness of the pen. You don't put 500,000 names on one piece of paper. You overwhelm the White House where it has so many papers because 500,000 people wrote in their own words. I want to tell you why I'm worthy of the health care. I wanted to give you my witness and my testimony of why I'm worthy of... Now here's the fruit. When it comes to the good soil, and it goes and it comes in, and the faith begins to grow, now the fruit begins. And then 30, 60, 100-fold, it begins to grow. And then the fruit is in the evidence of our actions. See, I'm not going to come to make these videos or chat with you guys online and all that to glorify myself in any fashion or way. I've come to make you understand not only are you worthy of the health care, it is your constitutional right to receive that health care. Your constitutional right. They've just been denying you of what rightfully belongs to you. So he says, and here I want to go on and He says, if anyone comes to me without turning his back on his father, his mother, his wife, and his children, and brothers and sisters, indeed his very self, cannot be my follower. Anyone who takes and does not take up his cross and follow me, he can't be my student, my disciple. If one of you decides to build a tower, will not he first sit down and calculate the outlay to see if he has enough money to complete the project? He will do that for out of fear of laying a foundation, right? And making a kingdom or a tower, and you get halfway and then you look like a real douchebag. And you cave in to cowardness. To cowardness. You know? And that's how it is. That man began to build what he could not finish. Or if a king is about to march on another king into battle with him, will not he first sit down and consider whether the 10,000 men he can stand an army coming against with 20,000? And if he cannot, will he not send a delegation while the enemy is still at a distance, asking for terms of peace? In the same way, none of you, it says in the same way, none of you. This is Jesus Christ, the Master, God. In the same way, none of you can be my disciple if he does not renounce all his possessions. This is why it's so hard to be rejected and feels like I'm making no progress and not producing any fruit. The fruit is the 500,000 letters written and overwhelming them with the testimony of explaining, this is why my daughter is worthy of the care. Not insurance. No. Not in slavery. Not insurance. That this is why we're worthy, because we eat food. I want to give my testimony of why I'm worthy of the care. And my daughter's worthy of it. And she has a testimony of why she's worthy of it. 1 in 4 autism children in America, why they're worthy of it. And their parents are worthy of it. Why you're worthy. This is where the fruit is. Not Dave, come over here and let me give you a big slappy kiss, you wonderful guy. You did nothing for me. You did nothing. I'm not here for that. I don't want your friendship. I want you to go to heaven. And this is what Jesus Christ says. None of you can come where I live unless you give all your possessions away. And unless you're willing to see the value of a human being. None of you. Unless you're willing to feed my sheep, none of you. Unless you're willing to take care of my lambs, none of you. Unless you're willing to love my people, those who are lost, those who are in need. Unless you're willing to do that, none of you following me into an everlasting kingdom. That's what he said. None of you can be my disciple if he does not renounce all his possessions. Salt is good, but if salt loses its flavor, what good is it for seasoning? It's neither fit for the soil nor the manure pile. It has to be thrown away. Let him hear. Let him who hears it. Let you who understands these words today heed them. Heed them. Obey them. Take it serious. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. It's not even good for the manure pile. If our faith in what we believe isn't being seen in our actions, nothing. What is love? It's not about religion. This is about a male and a female who were made in the image of God, and they, a male and a female, deserve the respect of being made in God's image. That's what it's about. As Jesus Christ said, it's impossible. You cannot love God unless you love me, the man standing in front of you. See you next time.